Hello, how are ya? Don't know why I'm singing. I'm Jamila. This is Jamila be reading? Cause I do be reading. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today we're talking about my November TBR, and it's been a minute, I feel like, since I did a TBR video. But I have some plans for November. I am planning on participating in IndigAthon, and I believe it's hosted by Brody, and I will put a little picture and link down below their Instagram and YouTube, as well as Michelle, and I will do the same for her as well. There is a little bingo card thing with prompts for IndigAthon, so I thought I'd go through that and let y'all know what I'm planning on reading for that. And I also have a couple of other books that I'm hoping to read this month as well, so I'll talk about that a little bit later. So I'll just go ahead and put up the little bingo card with the prompts up here, and we'll just kind of go along and see. I'm hoping I can do a blackout. I think with the books that I picked, it's gonna hit a blackout. So the first book I have for this is Race to the Sun by Rebecca Roanhorse. This is through the Rick Riordan Presents imprint via Disney, and it follows 7th grader Najoni Begay, who has been able to detect monsters. That's interesting. Her dad disappears, leaving behind a message that says run. And so Najoni, her siblings, and her best friend are thrust into a rescue mission. And the only people that can help them are the DNA Holy people. There is a series of magical trials. I really like the artwork on here, and this little person, this little dude right here, I don't know if you can even tell, but this is a middle grade book. And for this, it'll hit the middle grade prompt. I also think that it will hit the intersectionality prompt, because Rebecca Roanhorse, if I'm correct, and please correct me if I'm wrong, is Afro-Indigenous. So intersectionality? I'm not quite sure about that. But yeah, so that's the first book I have for that. Next up, I have Alatsue by Darcy Little Badger. I first heard about this book from Books and Lala. She read this and was just raving about it, and it sounded really cool, and I wanted to read it for this readathon, so I picked it up. And let me just read you the book flap instead of me stumbling my way through telling you what this is about. Imagine an America very similar to our own. It's got homework, best friends, and pistachio ice cream. These are some differences. This America has been shaped dramatically by magic, monsters, knowledge, and legends of its peoples, those indigenous and those not. Some of these forces are charmingly everyday, like the ability to make an orb of light appear or travel across the world through rings of fungi. But other forces are less charming and should never see the light of day. Alatsue lives in this slightly stranger America. She can raise the ghosts of dead animals, a skill passed down through generations of her Lipan Apache family. Her beloved cousin has just been murdered in a town that wants no prying eyes, but she is going to do more than pry. The picture-perfect facade of Willoughby masks gruesome secrets, and she will rely on her wits, skills, and her friends to tear off the mask and protect her family. Now, I heard that there is ace rep in this book. I believe the main character is asexual, so this hits the intersectionality aspect of the prompt. It's also other than the 5 civilized tribes, so it's hitting a couple of these. Next up, I decided to mix things up a little bit. I don't typically read poetry, but I thought, why not start now? I have Post-Colonial Love Poem by Natalie Diaz. She is the author of When My Brother Was an Aztec, and that was the winner of the American Book Award. And she is also a MacArthur Fellow and teaches at Arizona State University. So this is a collection of poems that seems to deal with themes of love, bodies of language, bodies in general, Something that I'm reading here is, in this new lyrical landscape, the bodies of Indigenous, Latinx, Black, and Brown women are simultaneously the body politic and the body ecstatic. In claiming this autonomy of desire, language is pushed to its dark edge, the astonishing dune fields and forests where pleasure and love are both grief and joy, violence and sensuality. And so I saw this. I don't even know how I came across this, but I saw it and was like, love to see it. So I picked it up. I'm excited to read this. I think I might try to like read this throughout the entire month and just read maybe a poem a day or something like that. I don't read poetry typically, so this will be new and interesting for me. So for this, I think I had this as new to you, and I think that's the only one it might hit. Next up, I'm going to be reading Empire of Wild by Sherry Demoline. This is pitched as a messed up, grown up Little Red Riding Hood, following the traditional Métis story of the Rougarou, a werewolf-like creature that haunts the roads and woods of Métis communities. I believe the protagonist is Joan, who is searching for her husband Victor for almost a year. He went missing the night of their first serious argument. It says, one terrible hungover morning in a Walmart parking lot in a little town near Georgian Bay, she is drawn to a revival tent where the local Métis have been flocking to hear a charismatic preacher named Eugene Wolfe. By the time she staggers into the tent, the service is over, but as she's about to leave, she hears an unmistakable voice. She turns, and there Victor is, the same face, the same eyes, the same hands, but his hair is short and he's wearing a suit, and he doesn't recognize her at all. No, he insists she's the one suffering a delusion. He is the Reverend Wolfe, and his only mission is to bring his people to Jesus. Except that, as Joan soon discovers, that's not all the enigmatic Wolfe is doing. That seems super interesting. I came across it on the Kindle deal, daily deals, and bought it. Sounds really cool. I'm excited to read it. I believe this hits the other than the 5 civilized tribes and other than the US, because I think this is in Canada. And yeah. Lastly, for the IndigAthon Readathon, I'm going to be reading the group book, which is Heartbeat Braves, and this is a rom-com. Y'all know I love a good rom-com. There is never a dull moment at the Crooked Rock Urban Indian Center. Rayanne Larson knows firsthand the struggles of Native people. Working at Crooked Rock gives her a chance to do good work for Indians living in the city. She has high hopes for the center's progress until its new leader hands her special project over to his underachieving and distractingly sexy nephew. Henry Grant's life is going just fine. Though he knows res life, he's always been an urban Indian. He has no interest in the Indian job center his uncle pushes on him. That is, until he meets Rayanne. She's attractive and smart and like no woman he's ever met. Rayanne is determined to keep her distance, but when the center faces a crisis, the two of them are first forced to work together. She can no longer ignore the sparks between them. Y'all know I'm hyped for this one, okay? Come on. Y'all know me. Love a good romance. So I'm very excited that that's the group book. So that hits the group book and the buddy read aspect. Also, I might be doing a buddy read with some of my friends. They said that they might participate, so we'll have to figure out which book we're going to read for that. The one other thing is non-bookish media. And I am in a federal Indian law class this semester, and I have to write a 20-page research paper. And so I've been doing a lot of reading of articles, law review articles. I'm going to be combing through different bills. So those are all non-bookish media, and I don't know, I might watch a documentary or something. I've also really been wanting to watch Roma, which came out 2 or 3 years ago. I'm so behind on movies, honestly, but I've been wanting to watch Roma for a while now, and I know that's about Indigenous women in Mexico, so I might do that this month as well. And yeah, I'm planning on doing little reading vlogs and stuff for this readathon. I'm going to be participating in some of the Instagram challenges. So, gotta be plugging. Go check me out on Instagram, Jamila B. Readin'. All right, so let's hop into some of the other books that I may or may not read this month. These are all possibilities of things that I'm hoping to get to at some point, hopefully this month. But let's just dive into it. First book that I have here is When No One Is Watching by Alyssa Cole. It is following Sydney Green. She is Brooklyn born and raised, and she is watching her city become gentrified. So she ends up, I think if I'm remembering this correctly from what other people have said, she is doing like some sort of walking tour of Brooklyn, notices how inaccurate it is and like ignoring a lot of the history of the Black and brown folks in the neighborhood. So she decides to, I think, host her own type of walking tour. She enlists the help of her neighbor Theo, and they do a deep dive into the history, and it just turns into this descent into paranoia and fear. I know there's been, I don't want to say controversy, but there has been a lot of non-Black reviewers talking about how this wasn't scary, but ignoring the fact that it's just like real, it's scary to watch your neighborhood be gentrified and being unsafe in your own neighborhood that you grew up in your whole life and afraid that your neighbors are going to call the cops on you and that might be your last day. I don't know. That sounds terrifying to me. So anyways, I'm excited to read this, hopefully, at some point this month. Hopefully. All right, the next book that I'm hoping to get around to reading is Transcendent Kingdom by Ya Gyasi. If you know me, you know how much I've been lamenting about Homegoing, also by Ya Gyasi. I read it earlier this year for my Portland-based book club, and stunning. Honestly, one of my favorite books of this year. Was so good. So when I found out that Transcendent Kingdom was coming out later this year, obviously it was one of my most anticipated reads. So picked it up. I'm honestly surprised I haven't read it yet, but life happens. So I'm hoping to get around to reading it this month. This follows a Ghanaian family in the contemporary South. So Gifty is a 6th-year PhD candidate in neuroscience at Stanford University School of Medicine. He is studying reward-seeking behavior in mice and the neural circuits of depression and addiction. Her brother Nana was a gifted high school athlete, and he died from a heroin overdose after an ankle injury left him hooked on Oxycontin. Her suicidal mother is living in her bed, and Gifty is determined to discover the scientific basis for the suffering she sees all around her. But even as she turns to the hard sciences to unlock the mystery of her family's loss, she finds herself hungering for her childhood faith and grappling with the evangelical church in which she was raised. So it seems like it's going to be hard-hitting family drama. It's probably going to look at science and religion and faith. And I'm just very excited because Ya Gyasi is a phenomenal writer, and I'm just excited. It's going to be so good. Lastly, I am hoping to get around to reading The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. This is hyped right now. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody's loving it. Seems like it's tonally a lot different from the rest of her work, so that'll be interesting. I have read the Darker Shade of Magic trilogy, and I liked that. I read most of Vicious. Never finished it, but I did like the parts that I did read. And that's, I think, pretty much it that I read from V.E. Schwab, but this is following, Addie LaRue, who makes a deal with the devil to live forever for a reason that I cannot tell you, because I don't know. But in return, she will be forgotten by everyone that she knows. So she lives like 300 years like this, and it follows, I think, her life from when she made the deal all the way to the present. And in the present times, she's at a bookstore, and it turns out that someone remembers her. So I'm guessing it's going to look into why that is, what happened, her life, romance, all of the above. I don't know what this movement is, but I'm excited to read it. And yeah. Anyways, that's all I have for y'all today. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, add me on Goodreads, like, subscribe, and tell me what what book you're looking most forward to reading in November. And I'll catch y'all in the next video.